Hey, how you doing, everyone? Nice to have you along for the ride. Number 125. It's yoga. It's with me, Dave. Thank you for joining. It's a beautiful day out there, isn't it? I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Yes, what a lovely day it is out there today. I'm doing the usual thing, though, of like lying under a tree going, oh, it's too hot. And I was in Wales for the last few days. And it only rained on Saturday, and I think it rained everywhere in the UK on Saturday. So Wales, everyone said to me, it's going to rain if you're in Wales, but Wales treated us to some beautiful weather, did some nice walking, and had a very nice time in my camper van. So I don't usually get out that way, so it's nice to explore another part of the UK. So yeah, it's nice to be back and ready for a little bit of yoga. So hi to Jackie. Thanks for saying hello, Jackie. Nice to have you along again. What we'll do today is we'll keep it nice and varied. We'll jump into some breath work at the start, some nice calming breath, some balancing breath. And then we'll do a little bit of work into our spine. We'll do a little bit of twisting. There's some child's pose in here. There's a little bit of flow. Last week, remember, I did it at Space to Breathe in the centre of Leicester, and we kept it quite chilled out. Today we'll move a little bit more, but not a huge amount, but enough to get you nice and energized. And then we'll have time at the end just to calm it right down. And I'll make sure that we've got plenty of time for Shavasana at the end, because Shavasana is the bit which is probably my favorite part of yoga. Child's pose is number one and Shavasana is the second. And they're the sort of parts of yoga that I love to gravitate towards, not the kind of too powerful, power yoga, vinyasa yoga, even though, I quite like that time to time. This is the sort of stuff that I like, which is kind of a little bit more chilled out. So especially on a hot day, we don't want to move too much. So I'll try and keep it at that level where you don't get too sweaty. So make sure you've got a drink, make sure you're comfortable, grab anything else that you need. I was going to say water's good. I do have a coffee. This is my last coffee of the day. I promise it's my third. So I'm going to have a little slurp of this. And then wherever you're sat, come sitting up nice and tall on your mat. You can't see the bottom half of me, but I'm sat on a bolster and I'm sat on my heels. That feels quite nice. I've just had some physio on my lower leg, so it's given me a nice stretch out through my ankle. But I may probably move pretty quickly because I don't want to be here too long. So you can sit cross-legged. At this point, if you want to sit in a chair, please sit in a chair. If you want to prop yourself up on some cushions or some pillows, please do that. If you want to lean against a wall, then you can do that. There's loads of ways to do this, right? But as long as you've got some length in your spine, you're not kind of sit or hunch forward. You've got loads of room to breathe into. And then if it feels safe, just draw your attention inwards and do that by closing your eyes like this. You don't have to do this strange thing with your fingers. So do that. Or you can draw your gaze just down towards your knees or your feet. I like to close my eyes because then I can just drop in and just notice what's going on. And wherever you found yourself practicing today, I'm in my flat here and pretty much in the centre of Leicester. And just behind the laptop is some nice balcony doors. So I've got a lovely breeze on me. If you found the breeze or if you're practicing outside, that's great. And just notice the rhythm of your breath. And as you notice the rhythm of your breath, notice how your physical body feels. Just notice maybe from the crown of the head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Notice what you've brought here. And if there's any areas of the body that need nourishment or need a little bit of love, then this is your time to kind of just send the breath to those areas. And just that simple idea of just notice what you're noticing here. And then from here, just take a couple more complete rounds of breath. And if you had your eyes closed, then just gently come with your eyes open. Yeah, really nice, everyone. If you want to have a little move around here, feel free. I'm going to stay relatively still. But something just came to mind, and I was thinking about, breath work, and I was thinking about yoga in general. And I was walking out of our studio this morning, and we've got an A board outside, and the woman was looking at the A board, and I said to her, "Can I give you any more information about yoga?" And the first thing she said to me, she said, "Oh, I don't know if it's for me. I'm not very flexible." And, that's one of the first things that I hear a lot. And as you know, with me, I'm not flexible at all. And it's like, that's all right. Doesn't mean that I shouldn't do yoga. So flexibility, that idea that you need to be flexible is, that's misinformation, I guess. That's not what yoga is about. Yeah, sure, you'll get more flexible, and you probably heard me talk about this before, but that's not the point of doing yoga. It's a byproduct of doing yoga, right? Oh, I might get more flexible. And then the other thing she said to me was, she said, "I'm not very good at meditation." And I said to her, I don't think there is any idea. Well, there's this idea that there's good and bad, but I don't think it actually exists, that we're good and we're bad, especially that it comes to something like yoga and meditation. There's no good and bad to yoga and meditation. It just is. And we are just as we are on any given moment in the day or the week or in the cycles of our life. And we give ourselves these messages, don't we, where we say, I'm not going to do it because I don't think it's for me, because I don't think I'm very good at it. I'm not going to be like the other people because all the other people are going to be proficient and they're going to be good at it. And I said to this lovely woman, I said to her, it's called a practice, right? Because we're just practicing, and we're not practicing to be good at it. We're just practicing for the sake of practicing. Because what it does is it allows us to be, number one, with practice, compassionate to ourselves. And also we become curious about ourselves as well. And that idea that we need to be good at it, I don't get it. I don't get it. I see beautiful poses, and I see people doing strong, flexible things, and that's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. But for most of us, we're here in this body, which is limited in lots of ways, but gives me so much in other ways, right? So it's just a practice. So when we're doing these more contemplative practices, when we're with the breath, then just be with it as it is. Don't try and think that, or try not to think that it's got to be a certain way. I'm not going to do that again because I don't think it did anything. Keep practicing and just see that we can have these little shifts. So we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing now. But what I'd like you to do is do it with this sense of wonder and sense of awe that you're here and you're breathing and you're in your body, and you just get this chance to practice and go, oh, that was quite pleasant, or I'm not sure about that, but I'll give it a go again. Because there's wisdom in all of this stuff, because the wisdom comes from thousands of years ago, right? It's kind of stuff that we really want to bring in, but probably the Western model of things is that you need to be good at it, or you need to be flexible, or you need to be strong, or you need to be able to sit and meditate for 10 minutes or half an hour or 2 hours. Otherwise, you're not worthy. Everyone's worthy, right? We're just practicing. We're doing the best that we can do at any given point in our day or in our lives. Everyone does that, right? Everyone is doing the best that they can do at any given point. So that's that compassion. So compassion here to myself, and compassion to you guys or other people out there, because we're all just doing our best, right? And we ain't trying to be like good at anything. And we're not trying to be, here's the last thing, we're not trying to be perfect at anything, because perfectionism, it's a tricky thing, right? Perfectionism. Brené Brown, who writes some amazing stuff about perfectionism and about shame and all of this kind of, deeper stuff. She says that perfectionism is always rooted in shame. That idea that something that happened to us earlier in our lives will prove to people that we're worthy of their love by being perfect at something. And it doesn't work, right? Because perfectionism drives us crazy. So be imperfect, be beautifully imperfect, all right? With this breath, be beautifully imperfect with it. So bring your right hand up. Sorry. It just came to me, and I thought, I think it's important. It's an important part of yoga, because then you get rid of everything. You go, oh, I can just be me. I can be me, beautiful me. I don't need to be anything else. Be you, be authentic. All right. All right. So right hand comes up. You're going to block off your right nostril with your thumb. Here we go. And then what I'd like you to do is just inhale through your left nostril. Block off your left nostril with your little finger or your ring finger and exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. And then close off your right, exhale through your left. Inhale through your left. Close off your left switch, exhale through your right. Inhaling through your right. Close off right with the thumb, exhale through your left. Inhaling through your left. Close off left, exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. Close off right, exhale through your left. Now with a little bit of holding, so inhale through your left. Pause the breath at the top, so the breath is held. And then close off left, exhale through your right. Inhaling through your right. Pause at the top again. Nice and relaxed through the jaw. Spine is long, heart is open, loads and loads of room here. Lock off right, exhale through your left. One more round, inhale through your left. Pause your breath. Close off left, exhale through your right. Inhaling through your right. Pause your breath. Close off right, exhale through your left. And then bring your right hand down and just breathe through both nostrils. You can have your eyes closed, or again, just soften your gaze. And just notice the effects of that beautiful breath rhythm. See how it feels. And then gently, if your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. Nice, everyone. Beautiful. And, that's a really nice example of a simple breath practice. And there's lots of different versions. It's called Nadi Shodhana. It's alternate nostril breathing or energy cleansing channel breathing. It's a really lovely example of just finding a rhythm that works for you and then just dropping into it. And what did we do there? We did probably like 3 or 4 minutes. You can do 5, you could do 10, you could do 1, you could do 2. But try it out and do that kind of breath practice. And it can really kind of bring you into your body, and it can bring you into your soul, right? Beyond the physical, like your energy, and you kind of can tap into this kind of being. I feel sounding really yoga-y, aren't I? But, just kind of dropping in and just going beyond this mind that tells you what to do all the time. Try and get away from that. Feel. It's all about the feeling, and the breath is so key to us, right? They say about the breath that it's the intimate pharmacy within. This idea that the breath can kind of heal us in so many ways. And I'm not saying that, just breathe and you'll heal from anything. I'm not saying that at all. But the breath is such a nourishing thing that we have. It's our primary source of nourishment, and we forget about it, and we don't learn how to breathe properly. Watch a baby breathe. What does a baby do when it breathes? A baby takes long, deep, nourishing inhales and exhales, and we as adults we take them and we get really anxious, and that happens in the body, and we feel it physically and we feel it in the breath. So those kind of breath practices can really draw us out of it. And especially in the morning when our cortisol levels are quite high, breathe like that in the morning. Oh my God, it sets you up for such a beautiful day. All right, shall we do some moving? I've been here a long time. I probably won't be able to move now. but let's do a little bit of moving. So if you're sat on a settee, on your chair or against a wall, try and come onto your yoga mat. You don't actually need a yoga mat, but if you've got one, great. Come on to whatever you're practicing on, and we'll move a little bit there. All right? Okay. Oh, I need to move though. Oh, my ankles. All right. Yes, Lisa. Yes, Lisa. James Nestor's book, Breath. Oh my God, what an amazing book that is. Yeah, it's incredible. I love that book, and one which I'd highly recommend to so many people. James Nestor, and it's called Breath. And he writes in that book about I've always snored since I was a kid, and he writes in that book about taping your mouth up when you sleep, because it encourages you to breathe through your nostrils. And that's what I learned in yoga, is like, I was a chronic mouth breather. I always breathed through my mouth. I didn't think I could breathe through my nostrils. And when James Nestor's book, now I tape my mouth up. Oh my word. I mean, I'm not saying it's a cure-all. Ask my wife. But I snore a lot less, and I feel like I'm less anxious when I go to sleep now. I sleep really well. And sleep's so important, right? Sleep is such a big part of our everyday lives, and we neglect it because we get into bad patterns. And then the more we think about sleep, that we can't sleep, the more anxious we become about it. So if you can't sleep, I really feel for you. But something like that before you go to bed, wow, it's so amazing. All right, let's bring our hands onto our knees, and then just begin to circle your torso around your hips. So just bring this movement in. So you inhale here and you exhale here. You inhale here, you exhale here. So inhaling forward, exhale round your spine. And this is called Sufi grind or Sufi circles. And just get into this beautiful rhythm. And thinking about your breath. Noticing how your breath feels within your body. And just circling your torso around your hips. So loads of breath here can go into your hips and into your spine. Kind of send the breath where it's needed. Come back to center, and then just gently swap it out. So you're gently coming back the other way. And obviously the eyes can remain closed here, or you can just have the gaze nice and soft. Nice. And then just do 2 more complete circles. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, just let the breath go. Nice. And then bring your hands onto your front shin. If you want to swap your legs out, by the way, you can feel free to do that. I'm going to do that actually. Rebalance your hips. And then bring your hands onto your front shin. So there's not a lot of kind of weight in the hands. They're just resting out. Think about your navel. You're going to inhale, kind of lift your heart. And then you find that your heart is nice and high. And you kind of lengthen your spine. And then you exhale. You round into your spine. And you tuck your navel in here. So you inhale here. Exhale here. So try to keep your head nice and still. And you're just kind of working into the lumbar spine here. And the pelvis rocks forward, the pelvis rocks back. A little bit of weight in the hands. In fact, I could take my hands off here and I can still do the movement, but they feel good there. And there's a little bit of intention in the arms. Inhale forward, exhale round. And just come into a speed that feels good for you. You don't have to be fast. Keep your jaw and your face super relaxed. And then when you're ready, inhale, bring the spine nice and long. And exhale, let the breath go. Nice. Do one more like that. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. There's one more here. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. Beautiful. Nice. Little twist. Inhale, sweep your arms up into the air nice and slowly. Then as you exhale, just twist over to the left. So right hand on the left knee, left hand behind. Here's your inhale to find length, and then exhale into your twist. Nice deep, rich inhales. Full release and exhales. Think about the breath. A little bit harder, isn't it, when you're in a twist, because you compress the diaphragm, you twist it a little bit. So send the breath where it's needed. One more like that. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. Come back to center, and then just simply swap it out. So twist over to the right. And you want length in the spine more than anything here. So don't sit too far forward or back. Inhale, find length. Exhale into your twist. Take one more complete round of breath. And exhale. Come back to center. And then we're just going to move in a dynamic fashion. But first, bring your feet out and then drop your knees to either side. Just bring a little bit of movement in. Beautiful. And then we're going to move kind of side to side, and we're going to build the movement up. So you might want to stay in the first version I'm going to give you, or when we go a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more expansive, then you might want to kind of come into that version. It's not difficult, but one version might suit you better than the other. If you want to grab a drink before we do it. Not that it particularly needs a drink, but it's a nice time to do it. So what you're going to do, you're just going to move from side to side. So like that twist we just did, inhale to the left and then exhale to the right. Inhale left, exhale right, and just let the hands go with the movement. So you're going to bring, as you inhale to the left, right hand on the left knee. As you exhale to the right, left hand on the right knee. So same movement as we just did in that previous twist, but now just moving side to side. Let the head go with the movement. It doesn't have to be a big twist. You just kind of bring in a little bit of flex into the spine, a bit of a twist into the spine, working out through the arms, and you just move in side to side. Inhale left, exhale right. And then stay with this movement if it feels good, or you can make it a little bit more expansive. And we sometimes do this from standing. So you bring the left hand on the heart, and then you just swap side by side. So right hand on the heart, inhale to the left, left hand on the heart, exhale to the right. So it's an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So you just expand it out a little bit. Nice powerful breath if you can find it. And then a couple more times either side. Inhale back to center. Bring the hands onto the knees. And then a full exhale. And one more like that. Your deepest inhale so far. Then your fullest exhale through your mouth. Just let it go. And then one more like that. Deep inhale through the nose. And a full exhale through your mouth. Beautiful. Nice. Then come onto all fours. Nice and gentle. Or gently. And set yourself up in tabletop. And then maybe just have a little bit wriggle around. Maybe draw some circles with your hips. Maybe press the tops of the feet into the mat. That can feel quite nice. You can flex into the toes. Whatever feels good for you. Nice. And then from tabletop, just stretch your right leg back. Press into your right toes and just feel that stretch all the way down the right hand side. Now you can stay here if you want, or you can bring the left hand in the center of your mat. You can lift up through the right arm and then just come into this little adapted side plank. If it doesn't work for the wrists or the arms, then feel free just to stay with the legs stretched back. You don't have to come into this full version. Take one more deep inhale. Think about your middle right finger. Think about your middle left finger and draw a line between the two. Nice. And then exhale, bring your hand down. Come back to all fours. Stretch out through your left leg. And then just give that leg a little stretch out first. Maybe a little flex. And then right hand into the center. And then maybe inhale, left arm up. A little bit of a balance going on, right? Just breathe it out. Deep inhales, full exhales. Draw a line from your middle left finger down to your middle right finger, all the way through your shoulders. Head is nice and loose, gaze just to the side. Take one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand down. Come back to all fours, and then just move for a few rounds of cat and cow. So I've already done that spinal flex, which is a kind of a version of it, but now traditional, cat cow. Inhale, drop your belly down, lift your head and your heart. Exhale around your spine. Inhale forward, exhale round. And you can have your eyes closed, or you can just keep your gaze soft and move at a pace that feels good for you. You don't have to be as fast as me. You can be a little bit faster, whatever works. Couple more rounds. Inhale, come back to center, and then split your knees nice and wide, and then come into child's pose. Remember, you can always prop your head on your hands like this, or you can bring your head all the way down onto the floor. Then you certainly don't have to be still here. If you want to move around a little bit, then feel free. But stretch your sit bones back towards your heels. They don't have to get there, remember. Just find a child's pose that works for you. You can always place something in between the heels and the bottom. That can sometimes feel nice. But breathe it out. Take some nourishing breaths. Just 2 more complete rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, pull yourself back onto all fours. Nice. And then we're going to tuck our toes under. We're going to come into our first downward facing dog. So spread out through your fingers, tuck your toes, lift your hips nice and high. Big generous bend in the knees on this first one. So you can get loads of length in your spine. See, when I bend my knees, my spine is nice and long. My head is nice and loose. Breathe it out. And because it's the first one and it's the first time we've kind of inverted the body, maybe you walk the legs out. You can flex the knees at the same time. Whatever works for you guys. Nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to come and walk to the top of our mats. So maybe come right up onto your toes, look between your hands, and then just do this in a few steps. Maybe come right up onto your fingertips, give yourself a little bit more room in the hips, and then just walk your feet forward really slowly. Crawl them forward. Go really wide with the feet, maybe a little bit wider than you normally would, and then just hang in a standing forward fold. Now you can grab opposite elbows, or I just like to kind of brush my fingertips on the floor. You can place your hands on the calves, you can place your hands on your shins. You work out what you need, and then just you stay in a standing forward fold. I'm just going to check in with the comments here. Yes, Lisa, it's inspirational. Great book, really great book. Love it. One of the books that I read in lockdown. One of the many books that I read in lockdown, but yeah, it's a really big eye opener for me, and it changed my life in a lot of ways. Yes, great. Nice. All right, from here, bend the knees and then roll all the way up. Keep the hands dangling as you come up. So really slowly, and then notice how your feet feel as you press them down into the floor or your mat, and then you'll find that your legs lengthen, your heart rolls back. Do this really slowly, and then bring your hands so they face forward, and then maybe just walk your feet in just a touch. They can still be a little bit wide. Adjust your clothes if you need to. Think about the back of your neck and kind of draw length in the back of your neck. So you just chuck your chin in just a little bit, and then just breathe here. Maybe close your eyes. If you close your eyes, notice the sensations in your body. Breathe, 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 breathe. Nice. Beautiful. And then from here, just moving through a little bit of flow, because I promised it, didn't I? Don't want to run out of time here. All right. So when you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms up into the air. Really stretch up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, fold in deep. Nice. Next inhale is going to draw you up to a flat back. I come up really high. Some of you guys might be lower. That's okay. As you exhale, bring your hands down. Step first your right foot back. Big step. Then your left. Inhale to find some length in your plank. Remember, you can always do this and drop your knees, or you can stay high with your knees lifted. Beautiful. Take one more deep inhale. Then as you exhale, lower to the floor. I'm going to drop my knees and lower. I want to make it a little bit easier, but with control, come to lie down onto your mat. When you're ready, take an inhale. Just raise up through your spine, through your heart, into cobra, not high. As you exhale, bring your head down. Do that one more time. Inhale into cobra. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. As you exhale, bring your head down. Tuck your toes under, and then push back to all fours, nice and gently. So you're here. Then as you exhale, lift your hips. Come back into downward facing dog. Adjust your feet, usually about hip width apart. And nice and long through the arms, lifting the hips nice and high. Take one more deep inhale. As you exhale, bend your knees, hinge your hips, and either step forward like you did last time, or step first your right and then your left foot up. Inhale to come up halfway. As you exhale, fold in nice and deep, and then inhale, come all the way up to stand. As you exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. This is sun salutation 8. Let's do one more. Inhale up. Stretch up here. Exhale, fold. Hinge at the hips. Come all the way down. Inhale to find length. Come up halfway. As you exhale, the hands are down. You step one foot back. You step the other foot back. Inhale gently into your plank. Exhale to lower. Drop the knees or lower in one piece. Inhale into your cobra pose. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Nice. 2 breaths. Deep inhale. Maybe a full exhale through your mouth. One more like that. Deep inhale through your nose. Full exhale through your mouth. Bend your knees, hinge your hips, look between your hands, and gently bring yourself to the top of your mat, any way that feels good. Make sure your feet are lined up, then inhale, come up halfway. As you exhale, fold in deep, and then press into your feet, root to rise, come all the way up. Hands are going to arrive above your head. Exhale, frame your hands to heart center. Beautiful, really nice. All right, let's do a little variation. So inhale up, exhale, fold. This time, just step your right foot back, drop your right knee, press the top of your right foot into the floor. Take an inhale, lift your arms into a low lunge and sink down into that right hip. Really try and find an opening that works for you. You can kind of have the arms nice and wide. Make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Take one more deep inhale. Then as you exhale, make a basket grip over the left thigh and maybe roll the shoulders back. So you can get a little bit more of a lunge here into the right leg. Make sure the left knee and the left ankle are lined up. Really nice work, everyone. Nice. One more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, frame your left foot and then see if you can tuck the toes on the right and then just step the right foot up to meet your left. Inhale to come up halfway. As you exhale, fold in nice and deep. Press into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. And move it intentionally in this beautiful way. The other side. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Every movement has a breath. Step the left foot back. Drop the left knee. Set yourself an inhale. And then come into a low lunge on the opposite side. Again, be kind to that left hip, front of the hip. Maybe you feel it in the quad. Pad the back knee out if you need to. Right knee and the right ankle are lined up. Really spread out through that front right foot. Deep inhales. Full exhales. And the arms have got intention. It can mean they can be kind of bent a little bit, but make sure that you're kind of really stretching out through the arms while relaxing the shoulders. Feels weird, doesn't it? But you don't want to be kind of here and like, kind of make sure that the back of the neck is long and the back of the shoulders are relaxed. The shoulder heads are down. Take one more deep inhale. As you exhale, basket grip over the right leg this time. And then just use the arms for support. Maybe sink a little bit deeper. Nice, everyone. Don't have to sink too deep. One more round of breath. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. Bring the hands down. And then this time, tuck the toes on your left foot. Lift the left knee. And then step the right foot back into downward facing dog. Final one. Maybe enjoy this one. I think it's like the fourth one we've done. So there might still be a little bit of movement here. You might just want to find some stillness. Whatever works for you guys. Take one more complete round of breath. And then as you exhale, come down onto your knees. And then see if you can just sit back onto your heels. This isn't available to you in sit cross-legged, or you can just transition straight onto your back. If you're here with me, palms face up, take a couple of nourishing breaths. Just notice the effect of your physical practice, your breath work that you've done. Beautiful. And then we're going to lie down on our backs and we're going to come into Shavasana. So we're going to spend a little bit of time here. So I like to go nice and wide with the feet, maybe nice and wide with the arms today. And let's spend a couple of minutes here just to let all of the amazing work you've done this afternoon, let it all integrate and enjoy the sensations on your skin. Maybe it's a little bit of a breeze, maybe it's the heat. It's really lovely to come into this more settled period of weather after a lot of storms that we've had the last 5 weeks or so. And then hopefully feeling like the weather a little more settled yourself after committing to your yoga practice and getting onto your mat. And a great opportunity just to scan through your body again if that feels good. or just let all the attention go. Just let the body melt and the bones melt. And then when you feel ready, just begin to bring a little bit of movement back into your body. Maybe start with the fingers and the toes. And then maybe the ankles and the wrists, and you can stretch the arms above the head and make yourself nice and long. There's always a big yawn for me at this point. And hug your knees in towards your belly. First time we've done this probably. Have a little rock around on your spine. Nice. And then when you're ready, just roll over to one side. Make it nice and relaxed. Take a couple of breaths in this transitional pose. And then when you're ready, press into your top hand and spiral yourself all the way up. And then come back to a seated position. Beautiful, everyone. Really nice work this afternoon. And then really slowly bring in your hands to heart center and then press your thumbs into your chest. Maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze. Remembering that this is a practice, that it's about honoring yourself with curiosity, with compassion. We're not trying to be perfect at anything, and we're always doing the best that we can do at any given time in our lives. And just thank yourself finally for showing up and for practicing with me and everybody else in the Virtual Village Hall community up and down the country. And just with a wholehearted bow, wishing yourself well and wishing everybody else well. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. It's really nice to practice with you this afternoon. Really enjoyed that. Hopefully it worked for you. Hopefully it did the job. I'll be back again next week. It's nice that you've managed to make it, Lisa. I'm glad that you were here today, and anyone else that joined. I'll be back again next week, and yeah, let's see where we go. We'll do a little bit more breath work, and we shall move the body a little bit, because that's all we need to do, right? We just need to be curious and compassionate and let all of the other stuff go. Thank you, Jackie. Nice to have you along. All right, guys. Thanks to the Virtual Village Hall for hosting me as usual. A beautiful organization that do so much for their nationwide community. So thank you to those guys. And thank you to you guys ultimately for supporting them and making it all happen. And yeah, see you next week. All right, people. Namaste. Satnam. Bye.